Hello, welcome to Below the Title. I'm Robert.
And I'm Taylor. And today we're talking Wonder Woman 1984. So we haven't been on for a little while because, well, lockdown ended and the world came back and we had to go do work.
Actual work.
All of a sudden, when the work was cleared, cinemas were back too.
After a whole almost year of doing this,
we finally got to
do a new release film in the cinema.
And for the first time since January, I think it was for me.
Yeah, it was about then. January, maybe Feb.
We donned the face masks and went to a very strange Boxing Day screening of Wonder Woman 1984.
So Wonder Woman 1984, it's the sequel. Do they call it a sequel? It's just a different story. It's not really a sequel.
Different story
film.
With Wonder Woman. This one was just...
Yeah, it's its own little thing.
80s universe.
So it stars, again, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Diana Prince
of wherever she's from.
Theramesia.
Yep.
Whether that was correct or not, I reckon it sounded like I knew what I was saying.
Probably.
Theramesia. But so she's back.
So, yep, she's back.
And so is Chris Pine as Steve Trevor.
Chris Pine manages to come back into it, which is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer from a year ago.
Yes, yes. Kristen Wiig. As
in it.
Barbara.
I didn't actually really pick up on that, but you pointed out how Gal doesn't seem to be able to...
Gal can't actually pronounce Barbara. Baba. And once you hear it, you won't unhear it for the rest of the film. Baba, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So Kristen Wiig is Barbara. She becomes known as the Cheetah. Well, that's what the name of the character is. The Cheetah.
Right, fair enough. But the main bad guy in this...
Pedro Pascal. As Max Lord.
Yeah.
Who seems to be having the most fun out of everybody in this film.
Yeah, well, he's the most over the top.
He is. He's going for broke. It all centers around a MacGuffin.
The story is the Dream Stone, this magic stone that's gone down through the ages, thousands of years, that grants wishes, basically.
It all opens up with this really Superman 3-esque sequence of events, which
in the Galleria.
Although it was good to see the Galleria. There's a robbery in a jewellery store, which is actually a front for a gold trade or something. But in that back room was the Dreamstone.
Yeah.
Because they do the long panning shot over and then...
Yeah.
And then it just happens to show up at work.
Yeah, because the FBI have taken it and they need it looked at. Because Diana and Baba are working at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. Yeah. But they start making their little wishes. They think it's magical but don't really know. But everyone starts making little wishes. But
there was the convenient dude looking for coffee right at that time. I wish I was having coffee right about now. Hey, dude, here's a coffee.
Because Kristen Wiig's character is unpopular. She's hideously ugly.
She's
hideously. I've never seen anyone as hideously ugly, which is why she's so unpopular. She wears glasses. Oh, hideous. And so she wishes to be like Diana. And everyone's all of a sudden really nice to her and they all like her and think she's really good looking all of a sudden.
Yeah. Because all she does
really
shake that hair.
Didn't look very different. She just looked like her.
Shook the hair and put on a nicer...
It was the typical Hollywood thing of the hideously ugly person who's actually twice as good looking as anyone else in normal society.
Yeah.
And just glasses.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so nerdy and no one likes me. She reminded me of when Michelle Pfeiffer played Catwoman. It was very much that kind of role. And then her apex predator that she turns into is a cheetah. So she is a cat.
Literally becomes Catwoman.
Anything you dream of, you can have it.
You look like you saw a ghost.
Chris Pine was good in this, but his character felt like comedic relief.
That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
Well, see, the first one, it was his world, and he was leading Diana through it, because she didn't know anything about the modern world at the time.
Yeah.
And so now Steve is the one, he's the fish out of water in this one, and she's sort of showing him the ways of 1980s.
He has a place in the story.
Yeah.
But they don't actually give him much to do. I did like the fact that his character takes a shining to bum bags.
You know what? I'm ready to go.
I think we can do better.
And so it all comes together into 2.5 hours of computer effects.
It is long. It took a while for Wonder Woman to actually really appear as Wonder Woman. She's in it a little bit in the earlier scenes just to set up that she's sort of fighting crime in the shadows.
Well, at the
Galleria. But then it was almost like an hour and a half, an hour 25 in, I think, before she really first appeared.
Was that when they flew the jet with the never-ending
Yeah,
gas
so
tank to Egypt?
so we've also got
Okay.
Wonder Woman's invisible plane in this.
Yeah, she finally gets her invisible jet.
She doesn't fly. Steve flies somehow, even though he's from World War One.
The way I fly, they will never find us.
I forgot to tell you.
What?
Radar.
Will they shoot at us?
How'd they land it?
Yeah, where did they land?
Where did they land it? And
Egypt?
was it still invisible, and did they lose it in the sand dunes? They could have had a shot at the end, just all these sand dunes.
Yeah,
And she's going, oh, fuck. Like, where did I put it? Where'd they land it on the way back? Stop overthinking it. It's about a woman who can use clouds to grip her lasso with lightning to swing through the air before just magically discovering she can fly.
Well, I guess this is getting the spoilers here. Really,
Yeah, so I've already slagged off the jet. I thought when we did that, that's like, yeah, a bit of spoilers.
I mean, it's one of those things where to talk about in any great depth, you have to.
Yeah, we're going to jump into spoilers.
Wonder Woman can fly.
Yeah, that one got
I'm
me.
not sure. I'm not sure of the history. Can
Someone
she
let
fly?
us know in the comments because I'm not 100% on this.
Because she was
Can
flying.
she fly? I don't remember her ever flying.
That's why she had the invisible plane.
That's why she had the invisible jet. And then they gave us the invisible jet and went,
And she
you know
didn't
what?
fly it.
All you need is wind and
Air and wind.
And the thing is, like, sure enough, when she jumps and she gets her speed, I
Yeah.
can understand, but she keeps stopping and floating.
Yeah,
And
she's
it's
flying like Superman.
How
and
is
then
she
she's
flying
got
like
her arms
Superman?
out like Superman.
Unless basically she's passing gas.
Well, that's the wind portion of it.
Could be worse. She could be queefing.
Well, I can't explain it any other way. Because she's not Superman.
No, but I don't know. Can she fly? I know the fancy gold armor.
But then why does she
at
need
the
the
end.
plane?
Your arms get worn out. When you get to the fight and you're all exhausted from the flying. This is yet another superhero film where there's the superhero, there's the villain who is connected to the MacGuffin of the main story.
Yeah.
And then at the end, instead of a light beam going into the sky, this one had a broadcast beam going around the planet.
So what you're saying is, what you've always said is, this is the same as all of the other ones.
Fucking movie. This one has an 80s sheen.
Which they didn't use much.
No. Which wasn't used to it, except for Kristen Wiig,
Yeah.
who once she starts getting a bit on the wild side, suddenly discovers a really crazy 80s fashion.
Yeah, and there's only one prominent bit of music that I could think of that was 80s. That was Pleasure Dome from Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'd have thought maybe they did have more, but with the way the world's going and the budgets, they thought, let's get rid of anything we have to license. Quick, let's not pay.
Save that. It had another Hans soundtrack.
He just does everything now.
But he didn't buy this one.
No.
No. Although her theme is pretty much close to someone banging their head on a keyboard.
Yeah. There was one good bit in the sound, actually, I thought, where in the chase with the truck and the sound managed to build up really, really loud. It sounded like it was going to get really, really, really loud.
Is that when she was under it?
And she makes the truck flip. The sound was really done quite well there. It must have been that.
Well, that was a good
maximum
little sequence.
Yeah. That was probably the best sequence in it with the truck chase.
It didn't have a lot of action. Most of this movie is dialogue scenes.
That was
and then
pretty much the main big action sequence towards the end, obviously.
There was that one.
It's just a fight at the end. It's a bit boring.
Well, what do you know? It goes down into, while the television beam in this case is being broadcast, the main character has a CG Appaloosa fight with the main villain. Same fucking movie every time.
It was just a whole lot of stuff just seemed to be thrown in randomly. I guess it means if you're a young person wanting to become a writer, you don't need to worry about logic or reason or anything making sense. You just throw it in there.
Yep.
And it's like, But the other couple of things in this was, so maybe because it was from the 80s, that era, this was made just after the whole Me Too movement, and pretty much every guy in this film tries to hit on all the women sleazily.
No, every guy in it's a sleazebag.
Both of them beat up this guy, this drunk guy who's trying to... Yeah.
He deserves a slap.
But the thing is, it didn't really seem to lead anywhere, or it was just there.
It's empowering. Yeah.
Or
I think they
anything
might have... I mean, they
with
they bookend what's happening with Barbara.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning she's all meek and at the end she literally kicks that guy down the street and stomps him. And
she started to fight back, but then thought better of it that if she just beats him up senselessly, then she's no better.
Yeah.
So
she
it seemed
sort of
like there
pulls
was
herself back a bit and then just
bit
goes
better
full
than
tilt
this.
evil the next time you see her. I can't let you fuck with Max.
So there's that aspect, and the other aspect, which fits in with the 80s and fits in with 2018 when this was filmed, is it seemed to be a whole thing about Trump's America in a way. I felt.
Oh, there's a lot of talk about truth
Because
and lies.
the whole thing, I mean, I know that is a big thing of Wonder Woman anyway, with her lasso and all that. But it really focused on the truth. That's what saved everyone. And you don't, the truth and lies and with Max is the failed businessman.
He's the failed businessman who's
just
full
lies,
of shit and
lies to everyone
constantly.
And,
There was a lot of anti-Trumpism in this one.
Yeah, and the whole thing came...
Which is why you're
lies.
throwing heavy, that sort of stuff in if you're trying for a goofy feeling in some scenes. And then there's other scenes that are quite bright. And then it's mishmash and bloated.
At the end when Diana's talking through the lasso, through the guy who's in the...
Beam of light.
And then she's talking about don't believe what they're saying. It's all lies and
need
truth.
to know the truth. If the truth is what no one likes lying. And it's just so stupid.
It just went on and on and on.
It was bloated.
I didn't feel that even Kristen Wiig's character needed to be... I don't know. I thought she seemed
They
to be
just
extra.
needed a foil. They needed a physical foil for her because Max Lord is not a physical foil.
It was fair enough having her, Barbara, as... someone as an assistant who can help out, find the information and all that. But then the cheetah. It corrupts her, the wishes.
Yes.
And she becomes an apex predator. But all of that seemed to not really go anywhere or be really of any use.
Well, it was just for someone to fight at the end.
So what would you give it as a score?
It's a solid 6 for me.
Well, I was thinking 6.5. 6.5.
I mean, 6. It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was there. But there was nothing in this that you haven't seen in all these other ones.
Yeah, and it was very drawn out. And there really wasn't much Wonder Woman as such.
No. I looked at my watch.
I only looked at I looked at the time twice because I wanted to see... Because it was so long before Wonder Woman came into it. And I was thinking, how long? It's like an hour and a half and then 2 hours.
Mine was...
How long have I got to go?
How much more of this shit do I have to sit through? But I didn't hate it.
No.
It's not like I sat there, I mean, yes, I looked at the watch, but I wasn't like, oh my God.
No.
When you really, really hate watching a film.
Yeah, it didn't drag in that way where I was really wanting it to just be over. Like it was long and long-winded, but it didn't seem to take 2.5 hours. It
wasn't Cats.
It went a bit quicker than that. So, yeah, I'll give it that. Again, these films are pretty hit or miss, and I think more of them are a bit miss.
It needs a shake-up.
They need to just stop doing them for a while.
Making less of them.
Can we just stop doing it? How about that? Actually come up with some original ideas for once.
Oh, well, you're talking about a stone that has a ring around it written by a god or something that makes you grant the power of wishes that somehow turns into almost going into World War fucking 3 by the end of it.
Isn't that Lord of the Rings?
That's pretty much Lord of the Rings. Pretty much.
Because they had the writing in it.
They had the writing in the golden ring, caused a whole heap of shit, and at the end there's a massive battle. Only difference is in this one, they don't use eagles, they have lightning lasso. Woo! Woo! I'm really sick of doing the like and subscribe. I mean, for fuck's sake, I really do hate doing them. I feel like I'm pimping myself out for clicks. You know? Alright. Well, what do you want me to say? Oh, fuck.